Howdy, howdy, fellow folks of the internet, movie fans all about. Welcome back to this final edition of our greatest action scene tournament, our movie tournament for 2025. I'm here with my lovely co-host from the Wisco Movie Watch podcast, Dylan Davies. We're going to give you the final four of the tournament and the final matchup result here today on the show. It's been a journey here, Dylan. It's been a journey. Yep. We should have done this in some pre-roll or some... There's been some dark horses here I didn't think were going to make it as far as they did. There are some things that went down fast that I didn't think they were going to.
Yeah. I mean, I will say there's just two of them that I knew were going to get pretty far. I wasn't 100% sure they were going to get this far, but I knew they were going to get far.
Sure.
But I will say there's two that are surprising.
Interesting. I'm interested to see what you think is surprising. One that we just overlooked is a dark horse that's in this first matchup for us. So, like we do every time, we're going to talk more loser than winner, but you're going to get some winner talk anyways because we have to break it down in such a tight race now. We each get 10 points, and then the total score gets added. So one might be 7-3, and the other person might give it 8-2. That add up to 15-5, or vice versa. We might have a completely different split. In a tie-breaking situation, we just talk it out and figure it out. At this point, hopefully we don't have to do the John Wick 2 Days of Future Past Google Coin Toss. That was mostly because we knew whoever won that matchup was going to lose the next round, most likely. Yeah. But nonetheless, we're always trying to keep it fair. Let us know what you think in the comments section. Our final four as follows. The T-Rex escape from Jurassic Park. Burj Khalifa climb from Mission Impossible 4 Ghost Protocol. And I didn't even flub the fucking line this time. The truck chase sequence from Raiders of the Lost Ark. Omaha Beach sequence, Saving Private Ryan. Big stuff. Big stuff.
Yeah.
Ready for this first Final Four matchup?
Yep, I'm ready.
So we have the T-Rex that won't die from Jurassic Park.
That's one of my surprises, yeah.
Echoing the franchise that won't go away, and the T-Rex in the franchise that won't go away.
Oh, yeah.
Jurassic Park has beaten the Wayman fight from Everything Everywhere All at Once. The first Jade Fox fight from Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. The breaking of the Deeping Wall from fucking Helm's Deep in The Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers. And it has taken out what we both agreed was a number one seed in this tournament.
Mm-hmm.
The docking sequence from Interstellar, which is theoretically an upset. And that is taking on Mission Impossible 4 Ghost Protocol's Burj Khalifa climb, which got here by beating out the warehouse fight from Batman v Superman. It beat out the big three Avengers versus Thanos from Avengers Endgame. It beat out its own brother from the water tank heist of Mission Impossible 5 Rogue Nation. And it took out another one of our darlings, the Amon Head Forest fight from The Lord of the Rings: The Fellowship of the Ring. How do you score Jurassic Park versus Ghost Protocol?
I did 6-4 Jurassic Park.
I also went 6-4 Jurassic Park. This fucking T-Rex won't die! I'm not rooting against it. It's like, I didn't try to make this fucking T-Rex not die like in the franchise. It just won't go.
No, yeah, it's just a great scene. And that's one of my surprises because, like I said it earlier, I don't rewatch Jurassic Park that much. So it had been a long time since I've seen this scene. So that's why it's a big surprise to me.
Same deal. It's been a while since I think I watched Jurassic Park the last 2-3 years, maybe 2 years, I want to say.
Okay.
No, because I was rewatching it a while while I was living in Philadelphia. I was watching it every 6 months or so to a year, just because when I would be sad, I'm like, Jurassic Park's here. Fuck it, I'm just gonna watch Jurassic Park. And I was sad a lot in Philadelphia. So that's why I would just. But yeah, it's been at least a year since I've seen it, and we did the same thing. We were like, oh, that's got to be in the tournament, but we didn't
Damn
think
it.
about it at all.
I missed a great potential for a joke there.
I'm sorry,
I should have said it's always sunny in Philadelphia.
but it's not because that city fucking sucks. Uh, so that's how it goes, man. What takes it over the top for you over Ghost Protocol?
It's again, it's the variety
Yeah.
because there's so many facets to that scene. There's so many different dynamics going on because the Mission Impossible scene, it does one thing and it does it in different ways,
Yeah.
actually, really, really, really well.
Oh yeah.
And it does it better than anyone else.
I'd
I
agree.
think probably has ever done it in terms of heights.
Oh yeah, I've never seen another scene like it where I just go, nope, nope.
Yeah, like even like the documentary. I don't know if you've seen it, The Walk. And there was that
A
Joseph
piece of it,
Gordon-Levitt,
yeah,
the Joseph Gordon-Levitt movie that
yeah,
was based off that. Like they tried to do that same thing, where it's like tightrope walking
yeah.
across those two buildings, and even that fails to do heights as well as Mission Impossible did it.
No, the this scene is the changing of a franchise to something bigger, better, bolder than it's ever been before. This is the changing of a star. Because you got to remember, this is Tom Cruise post Scientology craze, jumping on couches,
Yeah,
Katie Holmes, and until Tropic Thunder, from like
I'll let-
2005 to
yeah.
to Ghost Protocol in 2011. This is still everyone's like, fucking Tom Cruise.
I'll look up what he was actually doing around that time. Yeah.
He was doing Tropic Thunder. He did Rock of Ages, and I want to say 2010 or whatever.
So so
Um,
you got Tropic Thunder, Valkyrie, which I actually like quite a bit. Um, Night and Day, remember that one?
oh, Cameron Diaz, yeah, and that's the
Yeah.
one that ended her career, quote unquote.
Yep, and then Mission Impossible, Ghost
But
Protocol.
yeah, he's doing a lot of different stuff at this time, and it's not making movies that were super notable.
Mm-hmm.
And this changes a franchise. This changes an actor's trajectory. I don't think Tom Cruise would have went the way of the dodo like so many other actors if they
Oh,
would have had that
definitely
strength.
not.
But I don't think he would be Tom Cruise megastar the way he is now without specifically this scene.
Probably.
Because he just gets on this string of, it wasn't perfect, but he gets on a string of hit after hit after hit after hit, and he just knows, this is what I'm good at, I'm going to do this, and I'm just going to go with it.
Also, one of the things we haven't actually talked about with this with Mission Impossible 4 is actually how bold of a choice it was to pick Brad Bird as a director.
Yeah.
First time ever directing a live action movie. That's pretty gutsy of because Tom Cruise is also a producer,
Yeah.
so he has a say in who's directing the movie.
It's a Tom Cruise ghost direction at all times. In what he's doing. It's just
Yeah,
what it
that's
is.
true.
But yes, he still needs to have a trust in someone to work with him and get the best out of him. It's
Mhm.
not simply Tom gets his way because Tom gets his way.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise specifically, you can tell about him is he finds people that push him to be better. Or he pushes you out of the way. That's just the way he does things.
Yes, he does seem a little type A,
Oh,
controlling.
no.
So that totally makes
You
sense.
mean the
Yeah.
world's most famous adrenaline junkie? No,
Yeah.
nah.
Yeah. Um so the scene itself, it does do that one thing really well, which is create tension through, I guess, just fear of heights, really.
Natural human fear that a lot of people have.
And even if you don't have a fear of heights in itself, you're still like, I don't want to be hanging outside a building
Yeah.
that high. Because,
Yep.
like, the thought of that, I don't like that. I don't have a fear of heights, but I don't want to be hanging outside a fucking building like that.
No!
Like, it's just inherently not something that seems fun.
No, because you have your impending doom
Yeah.
every millisecond. Every nanosecond, all your brain is thinking, I'm going to die, I'm going to die, I'm going to die. It's literally Jerry Seinfeld bit. It's just, I don't want to die, I don't want to die.
There's great moments where he's like trying to break the window by kicking it, and he's got
God.
he's
I'm
got
getting
to
heart
anchor
palpitations just thinking about it.
Yeah, he's got to anchor himself with the one hand. Love that. And then I love that shot where he's running across the building to jump,
Yeah,
and then he swings out. Love that. That's perfect.
that's movie magic, baby. That's
That's
movie
probably
magic, baby.
That's probably my favorite shot in all of the Mission Impossibles.
Yeah, I would argue that. I'd say it's
To
pretty
me,
fucking rad.
Because to me, that's like what Mission Impossible is.
Yes.
It's spectacle, and it's Tom Cruise being absolutely batshit crazy.
Yes.
That's pretty much what those movies are.
That's all it is. And we said, I repeated this, Sean Ryan from The Big Picture. Mission Impossible is fun when it's messy. That is so messy. And you're, as an audience member, you're just eating popcorn going, oh my God, 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 the whole time. It is so fucking good. But again, it's the one thing. It builds tension so well. We also mentioned this on the Elite 8 episode. It is so understated how important the small moments are that are actually huge, but because the rest of the spectacle is so big, they seem small. When his glove gives out right away and he's climbing with one glove, you're like, how the fuck is he gonna do this?
Yeah, just making it harder for himself.
And it's truly like, he has an idea, and then he just goes into a room with creative people and says, how can we make this harder?
Yeah.
And
I mean, that's a great way of doing an action scene.
It's awesome. So fucking good. The thing is, when we say variety the most, it's the tonal shifts and the amount of genres that can be filled in that Jurassic Park scene that Mission Impossible never leaves its wheelhouse. That what it is now. It left what it was before in that scene, but it's never left that wheelhouse since. It's always big, spectacle, over-the-top action. Jurassic Park is action, suspense, thriller, horror, like, name it, it's got it in there. At the same, there's also comedy in that scene as well, and it balances the tone throughout perfectly. That no one else can. So, that's why Jurassic Park is going to beat... Ghost Protocol was quickly becoming one of my favorite scenes in this entire tournament.
It's up there.
Because when I was doing the study work, that's the one I had the just visceral feeling of, this is so incredible. This is why I go to watch the movies.
Yeah, if we were doing favorites, I think I would have a different rank tournament. Like,
sure.
Because I think Godzilla -1 would be way further if we were
no, for you, no fucking way. Which, by the way, cheap plug. You want to hear Dylan gush about Godzilla -1? Go watch our Oscar recap episodes, especially the 5 years of 19 to 23, because Dylan gushes about Godzilla -1.
Yeah, if we were doing favorites, it would be a little bit different, but
it's so fucking good. The finals, one half of the final is set. The T-Rex won't die.
And now we got a Spielberg matchup.
Spielberg is guaranteed to be in the final. Spielberg is guaranteed to win the tournament now.
Yes, that is true.
It's just, what era Spielberg do you want?
Yeah, you actually have kind of 3 different eras of Spielberg here.
You have early career Spielberg, where he's just blockbuster guy. You have mid-career, where he's figuring out what he's going to do, and he's finally figured it out in Jurassic Park. And you have dramatic director, Steven
And you have
Spielberg.
refined Spielberg.
Yes. So, in this finals matchup, we have the truck chase from Raiders of the Lost Ark, which has gotten here by beating out the roof jump from Die Hard, the hanging heist from Mission Impossible, and it's taken out its own brother, the tank chase from Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, and its last matchup was some good competition against the parkour chase from Casino Royale. Raiders has had a decent go of it.
Mm-hmm.
Some name brands have been beaten by Raiders.
Yeah.
Whereas Saving Private Ryan and the Omaha Beach sequence has taken out the mall fight from Jackie Chan's Police Story, the test run sequence from Top Gun Maverick. It has taken out the helicopter chase from Mission Impossible 6 Fallout. It has taken out the biker jump sequence from Mad Max Fury Road, which, for context, I argue is a perfect film. So, you should know how much I fucking love that movie. Raiders, Saving Private Ryan. How'd you go?
I did 7-3 Raiders.
I also went 7-3 Raiders.
Okay.
As much as we're different, we're the same, and it's eerie. Because every time I think we might disagree, we don't. And then every time I'm like, oh, we're going to disagree, we do.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Whew.
this is one where it is hard to really compare them because they are so different.
The fact that this is the same director is wild.
Yeah. And it's like
17 years away from each other. It's incredible.
Yeah. And it's such a clear difference in eras of filmmaking for him, because this is definitely like post Schindler's List, post Oscar win, you know?
Yeah.
And then he'll win his second Oscar for Saving Private Ryan. But it's like, yeah, he's making serious films now. And it's pure fun versus horrors of war. Not fun to watch at all.
But the thing is, you have fun the first time you watch it because you just go, I've never seen anything like this. This is incredible. Well, but it's not a scene that you're like, gotta go watch Omaha Beach.
No, you don't say it's fun, but it's incredible.
Yeah,
like
you enjoy watching it, but you're not like, this is fun to watch. You go, this is really enjoyable to be able to experience this, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you're right. It's watching an artist from their youth with no restrictions up against an artist that knows his limitations and knows how to push them to the utmost limit.
Actually, you know what I would say is, I would say Raiders is awesome in the way we use awesome now, whereas Saving Private Ryan is awesome in the way that it's supposed to be used, like the literal sense of awesome. Like you are in awe of that scene. It's a sense of awe that you're watching this on screen.
Yeah.
But Raiders, that's just an awesome fucking scene. Like, it's just undeniably
It feels
cool.
like in this matchup, Vibes won. That's what it really feels like. Vibes won this one. But the preferences, the things that make this different for me, it goes down to character work again. Every time we've gotten into a big battle, it's been the character. It's not that Tom Hanks doesn't have a character. It's not that all these guys don't have character moments in that storming sequence.
They have a lot of great moments.
You feel horrified for them. You feel all, but you're feeling for them. With Indy, not only are you feeling for him and you're rooting for him, but you understand him at his core level, where you understand the soldiers on Omaha Beach from a pure human level of, that sucking sucks. I don't want them to be there. With Indy, not only do you get it, you're like, well, that would suck to be up against a bunch of Nazis and have to take the sacred item from them, but you're also like, Come on. Come on. I
You're
know you can
also
do it.
viewing them in a very different way,
Yes.
where because Indy is a character to you,
Yes.
whereas you're viewing everyone on Omaha Beach as humans. Like
Yeah.
you're empathizing with them.
Yeah.
You're not really empathizing with Indy. You're just like
You are, but
he's a
not the same extent. It's not the
yeah.
same thing.
So yeah, I mean, Raiders is undeniably. I, I think no one could argue that even if you don't say it's the best action adventure movie,
Which is a
it's
lie,
got to
but
be.
continue.
I know, no, I would say it is the best, but like it has to be in the top 3 for like everyone.
It's a movie in which I've been thinking about this a lot.
I've never met someone who doesn't like Indiana Jones.
I have.
Oh, really?
I don't
Wow.
I don't I don't believe
Are you
them.
friends with them still?
No. I don't respect
You
that.
see? Yeah, exactly.
You know my love for Raiders of the Lost Ark. Come on. This should break it down to you really quickly for anyone who doesn't understand what I'm saying. I love really in-depth, ridiculous questions, especially as icebreakers, because they force you to get an opinion on people. I don't like small talk, because you don't get what people actually feel. I love intense conversation. I thrive off of it. One of my intense icebreakers is, if you could recommend someone watch one movie in their entire lifetime, what would it be? My answer is Raiders of the Lost Ark.
It's a good choice.
If that doesn't tell you everything you need to know about what this is, I don't know what to tell you when it comes to that style of question. Because for instance, Dylan and I were talking before we started rolling on today's recording session. I have a stack of a bunch of classic movies mostly classics from the library. I just haven't watched the classics yet. I picked out the few ones that were either friendly for my wife to watch with me, or just they hit the vibes for what I was trying to do, or the time frame that I had. And I have Citizen Kane in that stack. And Citizen Kane, everyone from an old school argument perspective always says, greatest movie of all time, greatest. I don't believe that. And it's not, I haven't watched it, so I'm not saying, but I don't believe, very rarely do I believe that just because it was great and old means it's automatically the best. It's the same reason why I hate anyone who says the original is always better. And it's ironic I'm making that as I'm talking about an original in a trilogy. But I hate those arguments. Just because something came first does not mean it's the best. Or just because it was old and great as an old movie means it holds up as a great movie today. But Raiders is one of those few exceptions where if you were to make a list of greatest action movies, greatest action adventure movies, greatest adventure movies, whatever, greatest movie characters, all of those lists are invalidated if they do not include Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Well,
You can say favorite without it, but you can't say best or greatest. You just can't.
I can't imagine a modern audience watching this scene and not having a good time.
Yeah.
Because everything nowadays, I shouldn't say everything, but a lot of stuff nowadays just doesn't look real anymore. Because it's not real anymore.
No, and this was all real.
And everything feels so tactile in this scene. Because people are actually doing it. And the locations are real. Like, when I watched Dial of Destiny, I was like, nothing feels real in this fucking movie. My God, it
sucks because
feel
there's some really cool moments on paper in Dial of Destiny that I still find are cool. But they don't have the same tangibility that the old ones had. They just go, like, think of the take chase sequence from Last Crusade that was in a Sweet 16 tournament here, right? Think of him hanging off the tank, made in 1988 for a 1989 release, versus made in 2025 for a 2026 release. Or even take it back to Dial of Destiny for a 2022 release. They wouldn't have the same tangibility and feel because now it's more cost effective and easier to do it with computer generated graphics and all these things, and the tangibility isn't there. Raiders has all of that. That's the one thing is a great counter argument. Saving Private Ryan has such a horrific tangibility to it that a lot of the scenes would have lost simply because they don't have that. Raiders has it in spades, where you can still go, no, I can reach out, I can touch this, I can feel this, I can understand it, I can understand why everything is shaped the way it is, why we're doing what we're doing, why we have to do what we're doing. Both scenes have that. It's because they have the master of it doing it.
Here's one question: have you seen Saving Private Ryan?
Yeah, I watched a couple months ago.
Okay, is this an intentional black comedy moment? The part where the guy gets hit in the helmet, and then he takes his helmet off to look at the dent in his helmet, and then he gets shot in the head.
1000%.
Is that a... Oh, okay. I was like, should I point that out as dark comedy, or is it not meant to be dark comedy?
I think that might be some old reflexes. Like a little, this kind of like jot to the knee like the doctor gives you.
Yeah.
In which there has to be 2 seconds for the audience to breathe.
Oh, and then, I mean, this is also kind of horrific, but honestly, I find it a little bit funny in a dark comedy way. The part where the guy is holding his arm, where his arm has been blown off and he's just holding it, kind of funny.
I do also love, from a dark comedy sense, because I could easily see this being balanced poorly in a horror movie, but loving it, or in a horror comedy, is where the guy is with like the field phone next to Tom Hanks, and he's like, "Come on, phone!" And then it turns over, and his face is gone.
Yeah,
there is a 1% horror comedy fan in me that's like,
yeah.
Not in first watch. I did not have that first watch, but I certainly had that in thought process where I was like, it's, oh God. They're both amazing. And the fact that you have a career as good as Steven Spielberg, and we still have to talk about him in the next matchup.
Yeah, let's just... Hey, we're already talking Raiders, so let's just morph straight into the final now.
Yeah, I mean, we have our final. Steven Spielberg has already won. He had a 75% chance of winning, even in the
So now we got
Final Four.
Do you want to break it down before we decide on a winner?
I think that's probably the best.
Okay, because right now I'm torn. I'm leaning one way, but I want to break down the scene a little bit.
I think that's probably best.
Just so I don't forget any part of this scene.
Okay.
So Raiders, he starts with the horse chase. He gets into the truck.
Yes.
He gets shot in the arm. Great moment.
He climbs over the truck, then gets into the door.
Oh yeah.
And he fights to get control, and he gets shot in that one.
Okay, and then he also... this is the one flaw.
Actually, that's a lie. He gets in, he takes control, then the Nazis come out of the back of the truck, and he's shaking them off and doing all that. Yes. And during that process, when they get close to him, that's when he gets shot.
The one guy crawls around the side. The one flaw in Raiders does take place in this scene, which is the one car that drives off that cliff that comes out of nowhere. Like it just like out of nowhere, there's just a random ass cliff.
I'm fine with it.
I'm fine with it too. I think it's actually hilarious, but it's so clearly not the same location at all. I find it hilarious, but
nope, same deal. Totally buy it. No problems. Movie's perfect. Shut up.
Okay, and then when he gets shot, then the blonde ass Nazi guy,
he has to fight him, and he's fucking punching him in the arm and shit.
Yeah,
he gets thrown out the windshield. He's got to hold on to the fucking the Mercedes headpiece.
Starts bending. Yep.
Falls out, gets dragged underneath it, and he's using the fucking hot pipes.
Yep.
that all the systems that are underneath the car, he's using that, then he uses his whip to get back in.
That's that's the moment
It's
of
iconic. It's so
the
iconic.
yeah, it's the moment of the chase. Is him being dragged behind it.
Oh, and he's getting dragged behind it. He gets back. He gets in. You're getting this John Williams score
Also,
that
the
is
fact that
perfect.
Vic Armstrong, the stuntman, literally just has like some pads on, and
And
he's just being dragged behind a fucking truck.
and maybe some cardboard underneath him. Maybe.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, it's fucked.
I mean, hey, kudos.
Stuntmen were built different back then. That's all I'm
They
saying.
definitely were. Yeah,
Because the safety regulations are not what they used to be, or
yeah.
vice versa. They are much better than what they used to be.
And then he gets back in the truck, throws the Nazi out the truck.
Mm-hmm. He goes over. He tries to do the same thing Indy does, but then gets run over when he falls off.
Yeah.
Then he catches up to the lead cars, and he's chasing them off the fucking thing. They take all the aqueduct and plumbing that the locals are building, and he takes all that shit out.
That's a dick move. Dick move there, Indy.
To be fair, he's trying not to. He's literally trying to jank off and then push him back in. He's doing all this stuff. That is just incredible.
Yeah, and then he runs Belloc off the road.
Yeah.
And then and then his little local friends help him hide from the Nazis.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Jurassic Park.
Whew.
Jurassic Park. Maybe one of the most iconic moments of suspense with the glass.
You know it, yeah. Where it's the glass of water and it's just the ripples.
The ripples.
And you hear the steps.
Yeah, I read earlier that it was like they were trying for months to try to like find what would create that ripple, and apparently it's like a guitar string. If you strum it just right or something with an amp, it would creates it.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So you got that iconic moment, and then you got the goat falling on the truck. Another like great hint where it's classic Spielberg with Jaws, like, hey, don't show the monster until you got to.
That's textbook. That's 101.
Yeah. And then you get the little bit of a reveal of the T-Rex's head.
Mm-hmm. It's just the eye. And then you have the kids freaking out. You get the shitty lawyer, the blood-sucking lawyer, as Hammond calls him.
He says, fuck it, I'm out of here.
He bails. He leaves 2 kids in a fucking Jeep by themselves. A Jeep that doesn't even work properly, mind you.
Yep.
It's a tracked vehicle. And he runs and sits on the toilet and cowers in fear. Meanwhile, it changes to a comedy moment where he's like, where's he going? You gotta go, you gotta go.
Yep. That's true. That's a great comedy moment. Is there any comedy in the Raiders?
Just mostly Indy laughing and just like when he gets half the guys.
Oh yeah,
and he's just laughing. He's like, like
he's knocking Nazis off the truck is funny.
Oh, it's tremendous, dude. If you got to punch a Nazi, do you know how good that would feel? Come on,
yeah, that's true.
Come on.
The only thing that would rival it is if Indy just was able to punch Hitler straight in the face when he signs the Grail Diary.
Yeah.
That would have been ace. Okay, then the T-Rex finally comes out.
Yep.
Also, you get those iconic Lucas sounds.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with the tension rods or whatever they're called.
Uh-huh.
You get those classic Star Wars sounds.
Oh, they're great.
They are. That's one thing I will give Lucas.
His sound. Ben Burt, dude. Ben Burt.
Yeah. It's so good. Also, Ben Burt, the voice of Wall-E.
Hey!
Okay. T-Rex comes out, and that's a CG shot because it's the full body.
Yep.
Also, it's raining in that scene because it's easier for the visual effects artists for it to be a shiny surface.
Uh-huh.
So, same principle as like a shiny ball is easier for them to animate than a like
A
you
doll
know,
one, yeah.
yeah. So that's why it's raining in that scene. But then it also has completely fucked them up because the animatronic T-Rex
Yeah.
kid just got completely waterlogged and just started like twitching like crazy
Yeah.
because it just stopped working eventually.
Yes. But you have it that uh, the sister pulls out the flashlight because she's trying to
Yeah.
get help,
Yep.
not realizing that that's what's going to happen with the T Rex, and you're having these great switch off moments where Sam Neill's character is like, as long as we don't move, everything's fine.
Yeah.
And it's telling you the tension, where he's telling you their vision's based on movement.
Yeah. And
Stay still, and we'll be fine.
he is even saying like telling them to stop or like what are they doing?
Yeah.
So then you get, I think, the best, or I guess what you would call like the horror moment
Yeah.
of that scene, which is when it starts going into the kid's truck.
Yeah.
And then it has the moment that is, I guess it was an accident where the T Rex knocks the window on top of them.
Yeah, and
Apparently,
they're holding it up by themselves.
apparently the window wasn't supposed to fall down. Don't know if that's true or not, but that's the internet lore.
If it did, rad, even better. Happy accidents make for cool shit.
Happy accident. That
I want to believe it because of how many people that are stunt coordinators, directors of photography, all these things that have that old school bone in them that bitch about CGI, because they're like, when you take that away from us, you take away the spontaneity of the cool shit that can happen that enriches the experience even more than what it is.
I would also believe it because I think they would underestimate how heavy that fucking T-Rex animatronic is.
I wouldn't be shocked.
You know, that coming down on top of that like plexiglass. I'm sure that thing was not strong. So
they're holding it up. They get out. It starts spinning. T-Rex starts tipping it over.
It starts sinking into the mud.
Yeah, the T-Rex steps into the mud. Again, the stakes just keep going higher and higher and higher. They're fighting a fucking T-Rex that's trying to eat them. Then they're flipped upside down, and they're getting crushed by said T-Rex that is also actively trying to eat them. Then they're sinking into the mud so they can suffocate to death as they're trying to be avoiding a T-Rex that's trying to eat them.
That's my favorite moment of that scene.
And that's
the mud part.
And when those two are at their most dire, that's when you have Jeff Goldblum and Sam Neill come out, and they're like, we got to do something. They try to get distractions with flares. Jeff Goldblum's doing like, get the kids. He's like, what are you doing? He's like, get the kids. And you get the iconic running away with the flare, and the T-Rex is coming after them. That's when the T-Rex goes to the bathroom and just chomps the entire bathroom away and fucking eats that guy straight up, and you're like, good, fuck you.
Another great comedy moment.
Yeah. Just fuck you, lawyer, for abandoning these children. Awesome. And then it goes and knocks Jeff Goldblum out in that process with like almost a tail whip almost, but it's really like a head whip. And he's stuck in the bathroom wreckage. Then he goes back, and Tim's still stuck underneath the fucking truck. And then you've got Sam Neill and the sister, and she's about to scream. He's like covering her mouth. The T-Rex is getting all up in their face. You can see the breath of the T-Rex on a bunch of stuff, which is just incredible. He managed to get Tim out, but they're going out then. Tim's still stuck, and he's trying to get Tim, but he's got her on his back as he's hanging from the fucking cables, and then she starts choking him out because she's afraid, and he's trying to swing her over, and the kid's still stuck in the fucking truck as it's getting pushed off the fucking ledge, and then the whole thing, they get to safety just barely when the fucking Jeep comes and falls on them, and that's how the kid is saved. He falls into the right tree, and that's how the T-Rex win, and then the T-Rex just fucking roars because he's awesome.
Okay. Which one you leaning towards?
Oh, God.
Because the Indy chase has so many different parts to it that are so much fun.
Yes.
Like every single part is fun to watch. Like him getting into it, him going on, like literally the opening of the chase where it's like, uh, where he says he's making this up as he goes
Oh,
along.
it's one of the best lines in cinema history.
Yeah, like it's great.
I gotta
And
get
then
on
he
that
just,
truck. How? I don't know. I'm making this up as I go.
yeah, and then he goes down the hill with the horse. That's fun. Him getting shot, kind of fun.
Again, stakes. The thing is to me, this comes down
Also,
to
I should say, him getting shot leads to another great moment later on with
yes, it does.
Marion.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
The big thing for me is, well, it's one of the best love scenes ever. Of just and character love, not necessarily like, but it's just so good at the character interaction.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. I'm not saying like, oh, over the top lovey-dovey.
Yeah.
Or they're making love or anything. It's just that scene so encapsulates
Hey,
the love for two people have for each other.
quick tangent yet. Have you watched an older movie yet where they say, "Are you making love at me?" Cuz some older movies do that.
No, but I think I've heard that.
Okay. There's some older movies where you'll hear that in it. Cuz the first time I heard that in an older movie, I was like, "What is that?" But apparently that was just like
What they
wooing,
said. Yeah.
flirting. Yeah. And I was like, that's a crazy way that we twisted that.
Yeah. So getting back at, but that's a great tangent. Thank you for sharing that. To me this comes down to, what do you value more? Do you value the genre bending or do you value the character? Because I don't think, as great as Jurassic Park is, and there's still great character moments, don't get me wrong, they do not give you the same feeling that you get while watching Raiders, where you go, I understand this character's motivation. I understand that he will stop at nothing to do it, but he's not Superman. He has to think his way through things. He has to get by the skin of his teeth. You understand him and you believe in him more than anything else.
Also, on a pure action level, there is just a lot more action.
There's a lot more action in the trucks. A lot more traditional action.
Yeah.
Where Jurassic Park, it's the genre bending. How many different moments can you put us into? Again, drama, horror, comedy, thriller, suspense. All of these are put to the test. And there's an authenticity to the human experience in that, where, yeah, of course, no human beings ever come up against a live T-Rex unless they're believers in a really practical version of the Bible, and that's fucking crazy. But
yeah,
you have the human experience element.
I remember that guy.
Yep. But you have the human experience element of it, in which the reason we make jokes at dark times is so we can feel better. It's not because we're trying to make light of someone's emotions. We're trying to get through the emotions. No different than the dark comedy moment we talked about in Saving Private Ryan. Gets hit in the helmet. Oh, shit. Bam. You know, it's like oh, I lucked out. And then bad things happen, right? So it's what you value more in the scene. And that's the part that sucks, is there's not a clear-cut... It's not like we got two chase scenes where we can just go, well, this chase scene's better because of this. We didn't get two fight scenes where it's, well, this fight scene has better choreography and better lighting and all these kinds of things. They're lit perfectly. They're shot perfectly. They're mapped perfectly. You understand where you are every time.
Yeah, I mean, both scenes, you have the classic, like, geography of a Spielberg scene where clarity of action is literally his thing.
Yeah.
Where it's like so clear, where everything is, there's no confusion ever in a Spielberg action scene.
Yeah.
It's not a Michael Bay like fucking confusion in the Transformers movies where it's just like machine fuck fest where you're just like, oh my god, what is happening?
Yeah. I mean, that's the biggest thing is when we were gushing about Spielberg and we kind of saved it is this is what makes him the best of all time at this. It's not the stuff that it's not what happens, it's how it happens and how much you clearly understand it as a viewer. It's not like he makes the impossible possible, but he also does that through the clarity in which he does. And his team. Obviously, it's not just Steven Spielberg by himself,
Yeah,
but
obviously.
he has a team of people that understand how this works. How do we make this function and work, and why is it important? Why does it matter? And how can I make an audience member sitting here understand it? It's something that like an earlier Tarantino didn't quite get, and a later Tarantino is a master of now. Where you perfectly understand
Yeah.
where you are, what's happening, and why it's happening. Where earlier Tarantino, there was a bit more of the cacophony of what the fuck. And that was kind of how we got through sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I'm ready to vote. I have my number out of 10.
I think I'm ready. I think I can do this.
Okay. I'm 7-3 Raiders.
I'm 6-4 Raiders.
Okay. Yeah, it's at the end of the day, I did think if this is a true action scene tournament, you kind of have to give it to Raiders.
In the more traditional sense, yes.
Yeah,
I understand that argument.
but I mean, there's a lot of great action in the Jurassic Park scene as well.
No, yeah. I mean,
But
Jurassic Park started as I thought that was a middle of the road seed. And
yeah,
Jurassic Park, that scene truly gave us the excitement of this tournament where both of us lit up like, oh fuck. Like, I remember saying maybe this should have been a number one seed in the first matchup. You're like, I don't know, but maybe. And then by the second round, you're like, you're not
yeah,
wrong, maybe. Like,
yeah.
it
I
gave us
mean,
that feel, you know?
Raiders just does have like every part of a good action scene because it has a chase, it has hand to hand fighting,
Yeah.
like
It
it has
has
gunplay.
it has gunplay. It has moving vehicles. It has character moments throughout. It's got a little bit of that humor, not too much, so it doesn't take you out, but enough to you go,
Yeah,
okay. And
it's got stakes.
the most important part out of anything, it has a character you want to root for. Not that Jurassic Park doesn't, but Indy being by himself, and literally it's the world, every vehicle, and every character in the scene against him. It's the reverse, where Jurassic Park is everything's against the T Rex. It's just the T Rex is so fucking good that
Also,
you can't take it.
Harrison Ford versus Sam Neill. There's a clear winner there.
who wears
Let's be
who
honest.
wears the hat better? I mean, Harrison Ford is the best.
I mean, he's in the prime of his life back then. Maybe Temple of Doom. Maybe he looks a little better.
I
But
think he looks best in Temple of Doom. Probably he
yeah,
looks
when he comes in
good.
with that white tux, oh yeah,
Well, beyond that, I mean, if we're just talking physically, when he's got the cutoff shirt in Temple of Doom, motherfucker
oh
looks
yeah,
good.
yeah.
where you
He's
just gotta
definitely
go.
in his prime.
You just gotta go. God damn, Harrison. Okay,
Yeah.
we put some work in today. Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
it's Raiders of the Lost Ark. I'm
It was a number one seed for a reason.
The funniest part is, if you would have made me pick it beforehand, I would have picked this scene. It became a lot harder when
Yeah.
this came through. I think it might have had. If Raiders was going to lose for me, I think the path would have included Mad Max because they have a similar chase vehicle danger vibe.
Sure.
And then if it would have went up against one of the big epics at the same time and you had to continually force yourself to fight against it in a critique sense, that's what I
Yeah.
would have been, you know.
I think the closest matchup to me would have been Fellowship of the Ring. Would have been close.
Sure. Could see that.
I mean, Casino Royale was pretty close.
Casino Royale was close.
So
I also
yeah,
think, yeah, It would have been interesting to put Ghost Protocol up against it as well, because they're also like, it's a spike moment versus a long play of perfection. True. Versus a big holy fuck versus, the big thing. But it's how it goes, man.
Yeah,
it's how it goes.
Actually, I'm betting our number 1 seeds are not going to end up as like the top 4. So
Raiders, Raiders will.
No, I'm saying, but like if in our stacked,
Oh yeah, I think. Yeah, you're right. I think 2 of them will make it for me. I'm not sure about the other ones. So that is the final of this tournament. This has been a fun month of content for us. This has been a lot of fun, and it's been a lot of fun getting everyone to watch this and give the likes and let us know what you're thinking. It's been fun getting to see that build as well. I hope this has been a fulfilling finale for everybody. And now we gotta go stack rank them and go back to our normal existence of projects. Somehow, some way, we gotta find it. But we're gonna continue our top 100 series, which, March you get another episode of that. Big box office come out with some good stuff. And we gotta problem solve and figure out what next year's tournament's gonna be. So, because now this has to be a fixture at this point. So we're gonna do it. And if you want some inspiration, or if you want to see where we get a lot of inspiration from, I'd highly recommend go check out the Ringers Big Picture. Their drafts are perfect, and they inspire me to do more stuff here all the time.
Maybe comment what a good tournament would be.
That'd be great. I'd love to hear what you guys want to...
Like, movie heroes, movie villains.
I thought animated movie could be fun for you.
Yeah. There's plenty of stuff to do. I just don't want to do, like...
Best horror kills. That could be fun.
That'd be fun.
Maybe we'll do a Halloween tournament. Who knows? We'll do a mini tournament. Who knows? We'll see how it goes. But that has been it for the greatest movie action scene tournament, our 2025 tournament. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening. We truly appreciate this. So thank you. Anything left? Are we good?
We're good.
Just like Indy, we're making it up as we go. Peace, love, and hugs to you all.
Peace.
Watch a great movie. Goodbye!